What's up, my Fina loves? It's Miss Fina D coming to you all from Fina Team News. Now, normally if I'm doing a video with Kenya Moore name in the title or in that video, I always drop her intro. But I'm having some issues with the intro sounding muffled and all of that. I'm also working on a new one. So until I get that straightened, I will not be using that audio because it sounds all chopped up, okay? That's the only reason why you're not getting the Kenya Moore intro that you are used to. I will include the outro, but anyway, Kandi Barris was on Amazon Live, and they always ask her questions concerning the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and of course, she always answered them, and if she can't, she will skip those questions. So let's get into her responses.
Thank you. Emily says, Kandi, have Shamea and Porsha made up? I think they're doing okay right now. The ladies are filming. Everybody knows that. I didn't give no tea. And let me just say this. I know people be thinking that I be knowing stuff or, because they be trying to blame Shamea for telling me stuff. Can I say this right now for anybody who needs to know, even the powers that be? She is not telling me the tea. Anything that I've even heard from her, I already knew it before she even said anything. Y'all keep forgetting I'm born and raised here in the ATL, and everybody comes and gives me the tea. Okay, so I mean,
the postman even knows the business.
Yeah, like I knew who the cast was. I knew who the people was that was auditioning for it. I knew all of that. She didn't tell me nothing. I knew before Kenya started running, and no, I did not tell Kenya. Kenya be at my own sources. People be thinking that. Like, y'all, just because I don't say everything don't mean that I don't know. And they should already know that I be knowing, because I knew when I was on the show. Back when I was on the show, I knew everything because people always tell me stuff. That's what happens when you're born and raised in Atlanta. I'm a popular girl.
Yeah. And you never gave it away when you were on the show.
Exactly. And I wouldn't do that to them now. I would not, give any information that, that is detrimental to them. Like, no, I wouldn't do that. Anyway, Alexandria says, how do you feel about Kenya revealing she's done with Cynthia? Ooh.
Again?
Her and Cynthia have been up and down with this emotional roller coaster they got going on. That friendship that took many hits. Let's just say that.
It's beat up.
I don't even like to get in the middle of it because, I love them both. So I'd be like, leave me out of it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I love you both. And anything that I would have to say to them, I probably would say it privately because, I want them to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, you all know when Kandi addressed RHOA, I go straight there, okay? I play her intro from her Amazon Live, and then I go straight to the tea. So if you do want to watch the entire video, all credit goes to Kandi Amazon Live. So just go to Google, type in Kandi Amazon Live. It's going to bring up her Amazon shop. Click on live stream, and you can catch up and watch all of her live streams, videos, and all of that. She talks about fashion. She promotes whatever she's promoting. But in between those conversations, she always, drops some tea here and there or answer questions about RHOA. But the difference between Kandi and Cynthia Bailey is Kandi is able to still have her friend back while still saying, listen, even though I'm not here or do not agree with what she did, that's still my girl. So I'm just going to leave you all with what Kandi had to say about the whole situation with Kenya, and then what Kenya said about Cynthia Bailey for those of you who missed it. I will link that entire video in the description below. But here's what Kandi had to say, and also what Kenya Moore had to say about her friendship with Cynthia Bailey, and a little bit of what I had to say about the whole thing. I'm not focusing too much on Porsha and Shamea because, you know what, they will eventually figure it out, and because I will no longer be watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta because Kenya Moore is now on there. There's not really much I can say because I will not be following their journey to getting their friendship back on track. But I'm sure it's going to be in my DM somewhere, or I might see the clips going up and down, you know, my timeline on social media somewhere once the show comes back. Let's get into it.
We were there.
You were also really vocal about Kenya Moore, like supporting her, and you know how they were disrespecting her in the promos, and you know.
Yeah, well, here's my thing. Everybody was like, oh, you know, why would you say? Here's my thing. That's my girl. And I think people don't understand friendship. Y'all don't understand that my friend could be wrong or do something that's not tactful or whatever, but I can still have a conversation with her separately and not have to drag her publicly about something that she did when, you know, whatever. So at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I do feel like, and after it's played out, it was wrong on both sides. And I just kind of felt like, you know, you can't take one off and not take the other off. I felt like that was wrong. You know what I mean? And y'all can disagree with me, but that's how I felt. And I'm definitely going to support my girl and say they didn't even give her the opportunity to come back and apologize. Everybody else got the chance to come back and apologize. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
So, you know, why she don't get that chance?
Now she gone with the win, fabulous.
Well, she's still fabulous.
Now, why would I go back to that old school?
I feel like if other people win, get to blow back on their hubs, need to blow back on there too.
Kenya will always be that girl. Y'all remember Twa? Y'all don't remember Twa? Now wait, y'all don't remember Twa? Now wait,
I remember it.
I remember Twa. Too young to be watching it.
Too young, but it was good, child.
And after that was posted on other blog pages, I saw comments like, "Take notes, Cynthia Bailey, Miss Flip Flopper. That's how you be a friend." And I will say this again, because I've been saying it for a while. Kenya Moore never had an issue, okay, with Cynthia Bailey saying, "I do not agree with your actions." I've said it in all of my other videos I did on this topic. We've seen Kenya and Kandi have a lot of moments on the Real Housewives of Atlanta where Kandi did not agree with something Kenya Moore did and called her out. They were able to agree to disagree and move forward because that's what a friendship is. It's how you go about it, okay? All of Kandi Amazon lives, she said over and over again, okay, maybe Kenya took it too far. However, you do not come for someone and expect them to not defend themselves. She never excused Kenya Moore's behavior. What Cynthia did was what she normally does, go on her tour and lean into the negativity that people had to say about Kenya Moore, okay? When you know the real person behind the camera and people are going in on that person, that's when, as a friend, you stand up and you speak your truth. Kandi knows Kenya Moore off camera. So every time someone tried to take it there, she's like, listen, yes, Kenya, you know, she's had her moments and whatever, and we know who Kenya is. But the Kenya Moore that I know, no, I'm not going to bore you by inserting the Eva clip. You all have seen it over and over again. But like Eva said in those videos, the Kenya Moore that I know, and you all remember those videos, Cynthia Bailey never does that. She always leans into the negativity. And when she noticed that people were leaning into, we all need that. We all need friends that hold us accountable and all of that, she decided to lean into that, knowing that is not why Kenya Moore stopped being her friend. And she knows this. But she's one of those people that, you know what, if the public is saying this, then I'm going to go ahead and be on the public side. Look at what she did during this whole situation. She went into different interviews and made excuses for someone who threatened her so-called friend life. Made excuses and said, oh, you know, after watching the episode, yes, what she did was wrong, but she apologized. I never tell her to believe that she was going to do anything to harm Kenya. I don't think so. We need to give her grace. She made every excuse for someone who came on this show and threatened the life of her so-called friend, but yet is angry and wants to hold that friend accountable for reacting, but then give the person who threatened her friend's life grace, knowing this is not even why Kenya stopped talking to her. But because the public, some of them were on her side and the reaction, so she led with that. She went in interviews. I'm not going to put my integrity on the line for this and that, knowing that's not why Kenya Moore was upset, because we've all seen it with our own eyes where you can call Kenya Moore out on her ish. She would have a conversation with you and move on. And if that was the case, she would have stopped being Cynthia Bailey's friend a while ago, because we've seen this played out over and over again. And it got to the point where Kenya Moore was like, you know what? I've had it. But here's Kenya Moore, for those of you who missed it, explaining a few weeks ago why she stopped dealing with Cynthia Bailey. The truth, and not the made-up, assumption that Cynthia Bailey is running with because the public is running with that. Assumption that Cynthia Bailey is running with because the public is running with that.
Okay, somebody wants to talk about Cynthia. Okay, someone says, how do I feel about Cynthia on the reunion regarding me? Cynthia, I'm going to be very truthful right now. The reason first of all, she's not telling the truth about the timeline of, well, she's mistaken. I don't want to just say she's not lying. I did reach out to and chatted with her via text messages the day after my salon event. I'm not upset with her for speaking her mind. I think she could have handled it differently, but that's not the reason I have not been speaking to her. I thought Cynthia was my writer, one of my best friends, my confidant, someone that I really love and trusted as a sister. We have been through our ups and downs, our lefts, our rights, whatever. But at the end of the day, I thought she was someone that I would always be able to trust. That's not true. There were some private things that I told her, shared with her, and texted her that she shared with someone else. Okay, thank you. That she shared with someone else. And that really gutted me, because in this world of housewives, and you meet people, you form these relationships. Some are because they're work people, they're cast members that you work with, and some, they become really a part of your village. I trusted her with my daughter. I trusted her with my secrets. I trusted her with a lot of things. And trust me when I tell you this, I have kept her most private moments, her most private secrets to myself, and have never, and will never, disclose any private information, specifically, speaking about intimate conversations that we've had, or text messages that we've had where I'm explaining something in a very intimate way. And I know that she betrayed my trust, and I won't tell you, specifically the people, the why. I know the why. And the why was not for my best interest. It was for hers. And so all this, I haven't spoken to Kenya, all this stuff. Please, just at this point, please stop talking about me. You can stand on your own. You can say whatever you want to say, but please, I'm just saying, please stop talking about me. What you're saying is not true. And, I just don't want that nonsense in my life anymore. I want genuine people who really are on my team, even if that comes down to two people, and one of those people is Brooklyn Daly. I'm okay with that. I think I know who my writers are, and, honestly, she's just not one.
Well, there you have it. Kenya Moore explaining why she and Cynthia Bailey are no longer cool. And, maybe in the future, you never know. But Kenya absolutely and definitely tried with that friendship. And shout out to Kandi Burris for always having Kenya Moore back. Now, yeah, we've had some side-eyeing moments when it comes to their friendship. And no one is saying Kenya Moore is a saint either, okay? But you can tell when someone is genuinely a friend, and also when they are friends, for convenience. Every time that someone says something or about them, she never jumps in and say, listen, I hear what you're saying based on what you've seen on TV, but the Kenya that I know, she always go with the flow or allow people to disrespect Kenya in her presence, and she will sit there like her podcast co-host, but that's a different video. I'm wishing them well. I'm wishing all of you well, and take care. And on that note, life twirls on. Thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also, turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.